Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays FTL. I know that we've, our last run in particular was pretty darn strong. I had a really good time with that one. The Stealth Cruiser Type A has made a believer out of me. As a result, we unlocked Stealth Cruiser B and C, so I wanted to show you those quickly, just in case you've never seen them. Stealth Cruiser B, I think we've seen this on camera before, but basically, same as Stealth Cruiser A, except it starts with one glaive beam and nothing else. So basically, effectively, and it starts with second level of clones as well. Sorry, cloaking, not cloning, but it has a med bay instead. Yeah, you basically need to wait for this glaive beam to charge up, then hit the enemy shields, I suppose, with it, and if that doesn't kill them, then you'll be able to get them on the next pass. But Type C is really intriguing. It starts with no shields at all, and no cloaking, which is just ridiculous, but you have this shield overcharger, so for only 2 power and 1 drone part, you can occasionally have 1 bar of a Zoltan super shield. That seems fucking crazy. I have no idea how I'm ever going to win with that, but we're going to play as the Zoltan Type A here, and I know that I've played as the Zoltan Type A a lot. The reason for this, if I go back to the list that I'm going to play as it again, is I really want to get this Mantis Cruiser, which, as I understand it, is a little bit more of a boarding type, and I'd like to learn that. I want to unlock all the ships, obviously, we've got a long way to go, but winning with the Zoltan ship is something that needs to be done in order for that to happen. It should be a lot easier than I've been finding it, let's put it that way. Mind you, my FTL addiction continues in full force. I've been playing an awful lot of it. I don't really want to sell any missiles right now. I've been playing an awful lot of it. It's obviously a fantastic game. I guess we can't have the Leto powered up right off the bat, which is okay. Even Jordan Catalano, it's been a while since I've seen my so-called life, but even he didn't reach his full potential until second period. Okay. So they're trying to get away. Anyway, I forgot what I was trying to say about the Zoltan ship. But basically, it shouldn't be this difficult for me to succeed with it. But it has been this difficult for me to succeed with it. So I'm going to try to hopefully put together a pretty good run here. My addiction with FTL has continued basically in full force. So I am playing a lot off camera, particularly on the iPad version of the game. Spending more time with the NG ship, actually, because on the iPad version of the game, I still haven't beaten the game with the NG Cruiser, and now I'm like, apparently in my old series of FTL, I somehow beat the game with the NG Cruiser exclusively. I have no idea how that happened, but I bow down to my earlier knowledge, despite being way worse at the game before. The Zoltan Cruiser Type A strikes me as probably one of the easiest ships to actually beat the game with. Starting with the halberd beam that it gets through 1 bar of shields is really useful. Power up 1 level of weapons, and then you have a Leto missile that is not particularly amazing, even though it does get a charge super quickly. That's the missile launcher that typically fucks me over when I'm playing against a ship that has it, because it has the ability to fire so quickly they basically get a free shot on you unless you have the Zoltan Energy Shield, which we do. And that Zoltan Energy Shield, I'm coming to realize, is actually a huge upgrade no matter what ship you get it on. So to start with it is amazing because it's so rare to actually find that in an FTL run. You can get it, it's just rare. I think you may have to complete one of the special quests that I've done a couple of times now. I'm not gonna... I've learned my lesson. That was the giant alien spiders encounter. Normally, who dares wins. Let's go help the people with the giant enemy spiders. It's just too risky. Why does everyone want to run away from me? Everybody thinks I'm a rain cloud when I'm not looking, apparently. There we go. To a certain extent, this first sector is basically just set it and forget it. There is a small chance that the rebel fighter here could get through our energy shield and our shield, but it's pretty unlikely, I would say. I think they just have a standard, like, pike beam, which is not going to do too much for them. By taking their engines completely offline, that should make it so their FTL can't actually go. So we'll just set up our other halberd beam like that, and, you know, Bob's your uncle, we're going to be moving on here. What do we need? We don't need a second bar of shield super quickly, I think. Dodge chance is great because it makes our energy shield last longer, and that is basically the ultimate missile defense that we could possibly expect to have. Maybe we'll get a drone control unit later. Other things I would like to get beyond the drone control unit, which I just mentioned, are perhaps hacking and mind control, both of which I like a great deal. You receive a hail from a station orbiting a nearby planet. Captain, we are Federation Terraforming Team C12 and are in need of assistance. Do you have some time? Sure. We'll overcharge their systems with the Zoltan, and that's going to give us 1 extra level of oxygen, which is a weird upgrade. I'm not necessarily thrilled about it, because I'm probably never going to power up to 2nd level of oxygen, but I guess it's good to have, just in case we get hit in our oxygen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe now we won't actually, now we won't actually lose oxygen the first time we get hit in that area, even if it's not powered up all the way. I may be mistaken there, but I don't think I am. A lot of people are probably going to second guess that decision to go for what effectively amounted to weapons, oxygen, and engines first. But, you know, I take my FTL motto from Jimmy Johnson's smash hit PS3/Xbox Live Arcade game, anything with an engine. So I decided to go after that first, take out their weapons so they couldn't hurt us, and there's a pretty hefty scrap reward. I've been playing a lot on normal difficulty, actually, so easy is a little bit easier, as one might expect, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It's still, you know, FTL is very much a crapshoot, and it is about your skill. I've been watching Lethal Frag play a lot on Twitch, twitch.tv/LethalFrag, if you're not familiar with who he is. He's been doing hard FTL runs with no pauses, with all ships, which is crazy, and he doesn't win every single time. You know, even Bisnap doesn't win Isaac every single time, but he wins quite often, so there's a huge skill component in FTL, but at my level, I'm able to win on easy pretty reliably as long as I get a nice kind of, a kind payout, is maybe the way I would put it. If I get a good seed, let's put it that way, I have a pretty good chance to make it happen, and I'm really amazed, actually. The Vulcan is too good to pass up, right? Is it? I think it is. It's, the only problem is I'm not going to be able to use it, like, at all for now. Let me just finish my train of thought, which was, I can't believe I haven't won on the Zoltan ship up to this point. That is kind of crazy to me. I almost feel like, well, we definitely don't want to buy a crew member for now. I almost feel like the Vulcan is maybe a little overrated when we already have the halberd beam. What would be better for us, because the halberd beam is already such a great damage dealer, is something that's really good at taking out shields. So we'll probably look for a better missile weapon, like the Pegasus, the Hermes, something like that, the Hermes, if you will, and hopefully that would allow us some good success. And you know what? I said I definitely didn't want to buy a crew member. Maybe we will actually buy a crew member. I'm going to buy Chris Remo here of Idle Thumbs, Double Fine, and Campo Santo, and we'll put him on our shield room because we already have a second level of doors. And this is weird. I much would have preferred to buy a weapon in there. Maybe not buying the Vulcan is going to end up being the death of me at some point. I do like the Vulcan, if you're not familiar with what it is. It starts... Ooh, his mental state's questionable. I brought him back and immediately we lost a crew member. So at the very least, I'm glad that I bought one. One of these days, that event is going to work out in my favor, though. I just know it. But yeah, it's a chain Vulcan. So basically, every shot makes it charge a little bit faster on the next attempt, up to a maximum of 7 boosted charges. So it starts by taking 11 seconds to charge, but then by the end, it actually charges in less than 1 second. Oh, because we lost the Zoltan, we don't have enough power to even get our halberd beam up, so that sucks. Yeah, as a result of that, it's really effective at taking down enemy shields, but you need, like, maybe 50, 60 seconds for it to really get up to the point where it's, upgrade your doors in exchange for scrap. Sure, I mean, again, I hate to decline those offers, so I'm gonna take it. But yeah, it's a great weapon, but you do need some time to get it going. So I really think that having like a third level cloaking system and stealth weapons makes it much more useful, because you can get maybe the first 4 charges out when you're in your third level of cloaking, which makes it a little faster. I hope I'm not just rambling here. I think I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. But when it's fully charged up, it's a menace. That being said, I think the halberd beam is an adequate damage dealer. I've used the halberd beam to win the game before, not on the Zoltan cruiser apparently, but just in general. And I think it's a really, really amazing weapon. We just need it to actually be able to get through enemy shields. So, you know, if we end up... Maybe we can do like that. It doesn't really matter, does it? As long as it just fires before our energy shield goes down. Yeah, if we can just get through enemy shields, get a good missile launcher. We got Ohm the Rockman. He'll be our new shield personnel, unless he's got something else going on. Nope. And I'm trying to figure out what store I would like to go to here. Basically, I want to get to 120 scrap before the store, just in case. This is a bit of a scary interaction here, but it's probably worse for them than it is for me, to be honest with you. At some point, I will, you know, this is in keeping with the fact that I want to make sure that I get shields charged up sorry, not shields charged up, but their enemy shields down as soon as possible. At some point, I will want to get enough weapon power to at least have the Leto active. It's got a low cooldown timer. That's what makes it somewhat effective. It's not a particularly strong weapon apart from that, but It's a basic missile launcher, and that means it can get through enemy shields, whereas something like an ion or a laser actually has to go through them, whereas this just punches kind of around them. So again, Zoltan Cruiser starts very offensively and defensively strong. In a weird way, I mean, not that everything in FTL is about balance, but I do kind of feel like Zoltan A is one of the strongest early offensive and defensive ships, whereas a lot of ships, on the other hand, suffer in one or both of those areas. This one is very well balanced, which is why I'm surprised I haven't won with it yet. Okay, so this is an important shop here. FTL recharge booster doesn't really matter to me for the most part. Backup DNA bank doesn't really matter to me for the most part because I don't have a clone bay. I could buy one, but I don't necessarily want one. But I'm gonna buy a defense scrambler and some fuel. Defense scrambler keeps the enemy defense drones from being able to shoot anything down. This is extremely important for the Rebel flagship fight because maybe I didn't record that one. Oh, it's giant alien spiders. I'm gonna leave them alone. One of these days they're gonna get me. They're gonna tempt me just enough. But yeah, I was having a run recently where I had like the best weapons in the game. I had like weapon pre-igniter, halberd beam. No, actually it was weapon pre-igniter, glaive beam, which is even better, and the Vulcan, which I talked about probably ad nauseum, I would say, over the course of the start of this episode. I guess I have to pick and choose here a little bit more. Since we're in an asteroid field, no, let's do it this way. Yeah, but I had those 4 weapons as mentioned. I know I can hit more rooms. There we go. Or those weapons as mentioned, but because I normally relied on using my hacking drone to take out the enemy shields, and the second level of the Rebel flagship has such good drone defenses, it made it impossible for me to actually succeed. They just stopped me basically, and even my halberd beam, sorry, my glaive beam couldn't get in to do any damage. My Vulcan was taken offline by like their drones, and it just spiraled out of control. So having their defense drone being unable to target either, or actually both of missiles or hacking, missiles and hacking, I suppose, is super useful. So it's expensive. It's it's not immediately useful necessarily, and it's not universally useful like something like the weapon pre-igniter. That being said, it's really, really good. I think the defense scrambler is among the best augmentations in the game. It's like that, Zoltan shield booster, weapon pre-igniter, and stealth weapons if you have cloaking, I think. Not gonna take that shitty offer. We are a little bit underpowered. Normally I'd prefer to have the second level of shields up by this point roughly, but we've sacrificed our scrap for other things that are also gonna provide us with a fairly great deal of value. In particular, like, spending 80 scrap to have a much better chance at destroying the Rebel flagship Phase 2 and ships along the way is really, really important. But yeah, we need second level of shields, we need a little bit more weapon power, although I'd prefer to have a better weapon before we do that. We need more dodge chance, absolutely. So I picked up another crew member there, just in general. The earlier the sector, the more valuable I think crew members are in exchange, or in relation to things like scrap. Because a crew member is worth roughly like 45, 50, 60 scrap, depending on what species they are. And we're unlikely to get 45 scrap as a result of our destroying of their ship. We could buy a Zoltan crew member, or we could just attack them. And I like buying a Zoltan crew member. It's another crew member, and it's 35 scrap. And it's a reactor power. So that's a cheap Zoltan. Mind you, I did just participate in the slave trade, but it is a cheap Zoltan, and that's remarkable. So I'll take that, and I don't know. He'll man the door systems, I guess. I mean, sorry, our Zoltan will man the weapons room, so we get extra power there, unless he has a different specialty. Sorry, or it could be a male named Allison. What do I know? This is you know, the year 20XX up in space. I'm definitely not going to pay their toll. We are a little bit low on scrap. That's what I'll admit so far. Could be going better in that regard. You know what? I would rather hit these systems. Even though this one hit shields, I would rather take out weapons, engines, and oxygen and just mess with them as much as possible. Automatic reloader would be pretty good as well. Get the halberd beam charged up 15% faster. I'm just going to keep auto fire on here, basically. Like, with the halberd beam, it's Ronco, man. We can set it and forget it. Just as long as we make sure that we're taking out enemy weapons in particular so they can't do anything to us. See, there's their surrender offer that time. Was just 18 scrap and some fuel and, like, some missiles. No big deal. And, of course, the longer we can wait until using the missiles that we start with, the better our life is going to be as well. if we have 40 missiles and we end up being able to pick up Pegasus or something like that, that would be awesome. In speaking about the best augmentations in the game, by the way, I forgot about Explosives Replicator, which is the augment, obviously, that gives you a 30 or 50% chance to actually not have it cost a missile when you shoot a missile. I was trying out something different on this one. I figured I would use the Leto to shoot at their missile launcher, but they actually shot it down, I guess. Maybe I should have just stuck with the halberd beam. I'm feeling like this is kind of a stupid idea at this point. Their missile missed, though. Let's try mine. This actually ended up being a really silly decision. Yeah, we missed as well. So, unfortunately, we've made ourselves suspect now because we don't have any missile defense, but luckily that 15% chance to dodge has worked out quite nicely for us. This is why I should never experiment. I should have learned in college. It's just not worth it. But in a second here, just tell me that I can fire before they get a chance to fire. We've gotten very lucky. If we end up getting out of this situation only taking 1 hull damage for my quest of knowledge, I would say that's pretty good. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, and we'll see if we can just set it and forget it, as mentioned many times. More or less. The problem for us becomes when we end up fighting ships that have more than 2 bars of shields. Actually, 2 bars or more would actually be bad as well. Halberd beam can cut through 1 bar of shields, not as if it's not even there, but pretty easily. But once they get 3 or 4 levels of shields, we need another way to kind of get in or get around them, and we don't have that yet. But it's still mighty early in this run. Anything can happen. We'll shield their ship with ours. We've got a lot of hull integrity right now, so even if we got hit, it wouldn't really matter. Mind you, we only got 14 scrap for that. Was that worth the risk? Not really, but we're still fine. So we have one of those rare encounters where we actually have to deal with a bit of combat at the final sector, or final beacon in our sector. But they should fire 4 shots if you include the missile. They only hit with 2 of them, so we're gonna be totally fine to just tear them apart here. They'll die in 1 hit. And they did, and as a result, we're gonna pick up 21 scrap and nothing else. So, it's on to Sector 3. We're gonna go pirate controlled. Just in general, wanna stick to the harder segments, or the segments with sectors, I should say, with more combat, because as a result of that, I should be able to get a little bit more scrap and upgrade a little bit more thoroughly. They've got 2 pages here. Automated reloader, I know I said that I wanted it, but I think we need to start upgrading our actual ship at this point. Drone control comes with a combat drone, which is not good enough. So we'll buy fuel. And then we're just going to focus on us for a while, unless I have something to sell, which I do not. So, what do we need? Dodge chance is probably the first thing that I would get, but I think just to be sure that we can actually continue fighting, I'm going to pick up a little bit of... can we do one more here? 15, 20, yeah. I picked up a little bit of weapon power additionally so I could get the Leto up. What I want to avoid is a situation where we encounter a ship that has 2 bars of shields and there's no way for me to get around it. So, by being able to have the missile launcher on deck at all times, this means that I will be able to punch through enemy shields pretty easily. We have more than enough power to do what we want to do here, too. A little dangerous, but considering we have a Zoltan energy shield and they don't, I would say we're in a better position. Actually, I'm just going to fire on their missiles right away with my missile launcher. Just to make sure. Oh, they hacked our door system, which seems really silly. Hacking the door system would be really cool if you could, I'm actually just going to hit their shields, I guess. I should have hit their weapons because the laser's annoying. But by the way, I did realize, commenters out there, now I've realized the reason fires go out so quickly on these drone ships is because they have no oxygen. That makes a lot of sense. So they have no weapons, which means, again, we're in set it and forget it territory. Next thing we get is shields, which does cost, like... Doesn't it cost 120? Why does the Zoltan Cruiser A start with shields? I thought it just started with the super shield. Maybe on easy it doesn't? We got an anti-ship beam drone. I actually think that's pretty useful, but we don't have a drone control unit. We may be able to pick one up later. I like having drone control units for, mental state is questionable. I know, but we're gonna try it. Hey, we got a Rockman Charlie here. That was the worst thing that I could have done, because there's absolutely no point to having another crew member for us right now. Except if we get a teleporter or something like that, we could board with a bunch of Rockmen, but I don't know. Not really that into that idea. I'm gonna use the Leto missile to take out their shields as soon as possible. The reason being, I think, as a result of that, there we go. As a result of that, they might be more likely to take damage from asteroids, but we'll see. Our energy shields are already completely down, and they're 100% dead. That happened way faster than I expected. So now we wait. Engines, I guess, they're powered up fairly well. Want to get another 2 bars of engine power with reactor power coinciding with it, of course. Second bar of shields is the next thing on our docket, probably. You dock with the station and see a frantic person banging on the airlock door. Once inside the ship, he drops to the floor saying, "My friends, they've gone insane, they're coming." You hand him a blaster and turn to see a number of people charging for the ship. Okay, that's what I thought. It seemed like there would be intruders on board. Let's look at the layout that we want here. Where are some outside doors? We don't have to go through the oxygen room for this, so I would suggest this, and that. That seems like this is gonna get them in trouble pretty darn quickly here. It's 3rd level of doors, so they're gonna have some problems awaiting them, I believe. Close this door up, so they have to fight in here. But then they don't get deoxygenated. So, interesting question. I really should just learn to fight the normal way. What I'm gonna do is let them maybe break 1 level of door power while their friend dies here, and then their friend is gonna start to deoxygenate the area for everybody else. Yeah, he's gonna die. He has no chance. These guys have a small chance to at least survive for the next couple of seconds, but apart from that, they're pretty much done for. I don't even know if they'll make it into this room, but if they do, they've got a Rockman and a human awaiting them, and they have like no health each, so it's bad luck for you. Doors are closed, doors are open to keep the oxygen pumping heavily here, and we'll just go repair the door system. I should really save the layout of the ship. That went pretty well, though. We got 1 extra crew member. He's not really good at anything, but I guess it's nice to have one. We'll put him in the med bay. Rockman goes in the oxygen room, and then got a doorman crew member, basically. So we got a full suite here. If we get a teleporter, that could be a fun way to try to win this. But teleporters are weak against Zoltan energy shields, but we're not in a Zoltan sector, so we would expect not to encounter too many of them. They have a drone. We should be fine. Even though their beam drone's going to take out some of our energy shield, we should still be okay here. And I don't really like the composition of our crew, but I like that we have a lot of crew members. I'm actually going to fire on the drone here. Probably should have fired on the missile instead with my missile, but we took it out anyway. A little wary about wasting so many missiles, but we get many from encounters anyway. And again, hopefully we'll be able to sell this Leto and pick up a Pegasus or something later. Anything that can do 4 damage in 1 hit is good for me. Breaching missiles would also really mess with them. Bombs, ion bombs, small bombs, breaching bombs, fire bombs, those would do a number on any enemy that is unfortunate enough to encounter us. But yeah, what I was saying earlier is I like the fact that we have a ton of crew. I don't like the composition of our crew because we don't have any Engies, we don't have any Mantises. And those are my 2 favorite races, I think, in the game because they're so specialized. Engies, super good at repairing. So important when a system goes down to be able to get it up quickly. We got an... Oh, there we go. We got the automated reloader for free that time, which is nice. If we check out the store... 1, 2, 3, 4... If we check out the store, we can still come back. This is just basically for me to see if I can get a weapon pre-igniter, as always. Or cloaking. They don't have cloaking. They have mind control. And some burst lasers. I think I'm actually going to buy the burst laser over the mind control. I think burst laser Mark II is a really, really good... defense drone could be useful too, but I think burst laser Mark II is a really, really good weapon. Ion blast, to be honest with you, is actually pretty good as well. Those could be our 4 weapons. There we go. We're sorted. Can we get through shields with these? Ideally, we'd still like to replace the Leto with something else. The Leto, what have you. I think we have to speed up pretty quickly here. We're fine with what we have right now, but we will want to upgrade our weapon systems pretty soon to get as many of these active as possible. In particular, actually, what we should do is... Well, we just got a firebomb. That might be better than the Leto, but we want to depower the Leto and put Ion Blast up instead so we can get through enemy shields without wasting a missile. That'll probably put us in Rebel Pursuit, I guess, but keep moving on. And dock with the refueling platform. 5 fuel for 9 scrap is a good bargain in my eyes. So we are on to the civilian sector. This will be Sector 4, so when we finish this one, we'll probably take a quick break. But as always, whenever I break these into 2 parts, the second episode will be uploaded at the same time as the first episode. So It's really just so I can take a second to go get some coffee, and I don't really know how to edit videos in XSplit, so there's no conspiracy theory that you necessarily need to concern yourself with. So we will focus on weapon power. That's something that we're going to get up as soon as possible. The missile did hit us, unfortunately. But it doesn't really matter. Ion Blast is just gravy, right? Because the Halberd Beam is already going to tear through the enemy systems and 1 bar of shields easily. But if Ion Blast hits, that's more damage for us as well. So we should probably Ion Blast the weapons if possible, because they're going to be able to get through our shields in a second. That's just a little bit too slow to hit their weapons, but this won't be. This will make sure that they don't recover. And they missed us anyway, so our shield stayed up. It's good news. We do still need weapon power. We do still need second bar of shields. We're on the 4th sector. To not have a second bar of shields is getting kind of dangerous. Took 5 damage to our hull, and a fire started. Twisted fire started, but that fire's not going anywhere. I will pretty much always think that one is worth the risk, to be honest with you. Basically, sometimes there are fires. The fires are very rarely dangerous. More likely, yeah, we're gonna jump back this way. More likely is that you'll get a little bit of scrap. A paltry sum, but that's okay. So there's gonna be an ion pulse here. Ion storm, I should say. Which means they're probably not gonna have shields. Which is great, but also scary because it can disable my shields. I don't know if the Ion Pulse can actually disable the Zoltan energy shield, though. We're about to find out. As long as it doesn't disable my Halberd Beam. Oh, it's about to go, so I'm just going to fire the Halberd Beam, like, right away, so I know what I'm getting myself into here. Let's try to hit, well, we're only going to be able to hit, like, these. I don't like it, but sure, these 4. Good enough. Our weapons are still active. Our energy shield is still active. They have 1 laser. That's going to make it pretty difficult for them to do what they want to do. And you might be able to suss it out, but I really want to get this Burst Laser Mark II up so I don't have to wait for the crazy long reload time on the Halberd Beam, which is just insane. That should kill them easily. Pretty bad surrender offer from them, although we do need fuel. And that's going to give us 42 scrap. Yeah, that's why I'm maybe even, again, going to pick up another 2 bars of weapon power before I pick up the... Before I pick up anything else. What do they have here? Stealth weapons is good if we have cloaking. Which we do now. Now we will send... Actually, you know what? We shouldn't have our Zoltan piloting. We should have... I always forget to do this. We should have you piloting and you go into the cloaking bay so that we don't have to use as much power for it. Now, this all being said, I have spent way too much on systems. Not nearly enough on upgrading our existing ship. But I think that we'll still be okay. So here's the way we do this now. It becomes a little bit more of a, you know, quick time event type thing. By the way, why did I move the Zoltan out of the, I'll take a shot here. Why did I move the Zoltan out of the piloting system? Because the piloting is a subsystem, it'll stay powered up no matter what. So we might as well have the Zoltan power up, like the clone bay or something like that. Or it's not cloning bay, cloaking bay. Now we're gonna wait for them to shoot. And when they do, we will cloak. There we go. Our Ion Blast went first, which is good. I'll turn off the auto fire, and then we'll just cloak. We don't need to do this, but we'll cloak for the extra dodge chance anyway. That'll take us up to 87% dodge chance. And now with no shields, even though we don't have stealth weapons, I am going to go, like, doop, and that'll nearly kill them. It didn't hit their shields, apparently, so I'm a big dummy, but we'll land a shot on their weapons, ideally, and we got plenty of time here. Their oxygen's going to be out, so their dodge chance is going to be basically 0 as their pilot fixes it, and we'll just wait for the Halberd Beam to come back up. I still don't use cloaking effectively, and I know it, and I'm trying to learn. I take it every time I get the opportunity because it's so damn useful. That's a terrible surrender offer. But yeah, I'm working on it. Just don't worry about it. One of these days, I will be the master of cloaking, as Jill is the master of unlocking. Okay, they have a drone control unit, a missile launcher, and a laser. They have an anti-drone and a defense drone, but keep in mind that the defense drone that they have is worthless. So actually, I should probably, I mean, maybe not probably have to do this, but I should not worry about cloaking, I think, until my energy shield is down at least, because I might as well get in 1 free Halberd Beam shot before worrying about anything else. Gotta say, you know, Jim Halberd Beam is a pretty sweet weapon here. Let's try this out. Yeah, that's gonna be bad for them. My energy shield is probably not even gonna go down. Cloaking, much like the defense scrambler, which you can see working quite nicely here, is an augmentation or a system that you get to help you out in the late game. in most cases, although obviously on something like the stealth cruiser, it's integral long before that. Thankfully, we did get some extra fuel there, which is good. I was running a little low. Despite only... That's a terrible offer. Despite having only one level of shields, we do have the energy shield. I'm not trying to make it seem like we're weaker than we are, but despite only having one level of shields, we are not in a scared position at all. Mind you... Oh, that was the wrong button. I am an idiot. That's okay, though, because they're not going to charge. We can now just take some time to get the ion blast out, and then halberd beam will come up in a second. Unless it misses, in which case, fuck me, but we'll still fire the halberd beam because it's, super useful. And if we can get 4 systems, even though we don't get engines or oxygen in this, I like it, because if we take out shields, then ion blast can actually, take out their weapons for me. So our energy shield is almost down. I don't like that, as you might expect. Their flat cannon is still up. Come on. Oh, that's bad. That could hurt us. There we go. Their flat cannon's offline, at least. We did take a little hull damage there. I think 2 hits. Probably should have just cloaked. We got a lot of things on our plate right now. It's okay. Just give it a second. Wait for the ion blast. They don't have anything active until just now. And then we'll hit this area again. But I'd like to hit 4 rooms, like a Quentin Tarantino film, if possible. Pretty good. That'll kill them. So we got out better in that fight than they did, but... Surely I would have preferred it to be even better. We really need that second bar of shields for things like the flat cannon or lasers, etc., etc. I'm gonna like triple down here. We're gonna sell 12 drone parts for 48 scraps. So that will give me the tools necessary to definitely get a second bar of shields. We'll get 1 more engine power. Sorry, 1 more weapon power. And we can't really use that yet. We could use it for the burst laser, but I want to get 1 more before I get the burst laser up. We can power up the Leto. And we can depower oxygen a little bit, power up our engines a little bit higher, and now we'll be moving probably onto the next sector. We shall see. 2 missiles for 2 drone parts. Actually, at this point, I will take that trade, even though we're not really relying on either of them. I think it's a smart idea to at least stay relatively balanced in case we get like a hacking system or something like that. So here we are on Sector 5. Looks like we've only got really 1 choice of where to go. If you liked the video, this is part 1. Click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Subscribe if you want to see more FTL. And make sure to check the video description below for a link to part 2, which will be up no matter when you're watching the video. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a matter of moments.